Welcome to the New School of Marketing podcast, the place for smart, simple strategies that will amplify your business results. Sharing practical tips, insider knowledge, and actionable advice because marketing is something that every business owner can do. Now, let's get started. Introducing your host, Bianca McKenzie, mum, lover of snow sports, camping, horse riding, and in-demand launch strategist and Facebook advertising knowledge bank.
Hello, how are you? Welcome to the podcast and thank you so much for tuning in. I'm so grateful for every single one of you who listens. Thank you so much. So I'm actually recording this episode in advance, and when it goes live, I will be 1 week into my trip to the Netherlands. So I'm heading home. Well, it's where I was born and where my entire family still lives. So yeah, I'm going from Australia all the way to the Netherlands to surprise my Oma, which is my grandma, for her 85th birthday. And actually 4 years ago, I did the same thing to surprise my Opa, my grandpa, for his 90th birthday. And just like then, nobody except my parents knew that I'm coming. And I'll have to tell you all about it, how it went. Or if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen a story or two come by. It's kind of weird recording this in advance because I don't really know what's going to happen. So I'm flying home with my 6-month-old boy and my 4-year-old all by myself. Call me crazy. I don't know. My husband is staying behind for work and to look after the dogs. And as I'm recording this, I've just got my fingers crossed that it's going to be a smooth flight and that it's not going to be too hard. So we'll see, right? So in this episode, I want to talk about email marketing. And if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I am a big advocate of list building and email marketing. Having a community of people who've already said, yes, I would love to hear more from you. That's really just what I'm about. Those are the kind of people who are into you. They've said that they're interested in what you do and they want to hear more. And if you're not sure why you should be list building, aka a database of email addresses, a community, people that want to hear from you, tune into episode 81, where I talk more about list building and why it is important. And it is so important. So listen back to that episode. Right now, I want to give you 5 tips for email marketing that sells. Emails are proven to be one of the most effective tools to communicate with your audience. And it's also known to be one of the highest converting methods. Of course, it needs to be used together with your other tools, such as your sales page. And, there's a whole package that goes with it. But email marketing is honestly my all-time favorite marketing tool for any business. So how do you use it to your advantage? Let's dive in. Number 1, be personable. We've been using email for a long time, and some of you might have used it as part of a job in the past. You might have used it to email friends or family members, and you're hopefully using it for your business. Emails that convert best are those that are personable, the ones that speak to someone directly, even if they are mass emails. And I'm not referring to adding someone's name. Yes, that's great too. But I'm talking about knowing your ideal client so well that you can talk to them directly. You know who they are, so you can write stories that resonate with them. And not every email needs to be a sales email. In fact, I'd say that the majority of your emails should be conversational and not sales heavy. Okay, so that's the first one. Number 2, to use email marketing to your advantage is to tell stories. So I already lightly touched on this, but storytelling is very powerful. It has been around for years. People told stories by carving or painting on walls. They told stories around campfires. Stories connect people. And sometimes you might feel like you don't have stories to tell, but you do. Honestly, you do. Everyone does. I'll use myself as an example because right now, most of my days are exactly the same. only the amount of sleep I get varies. I have a little baby at home and my days revolve around him and what he needs. I only work when he's napping, and the rest of the time I'm either playing with him, doing tons of washing, or changing nappies. Seems pretty dull, right? And I still have stories to tell, and I keep finding analogies between certain things in my life and business. A few weeks ago, I was planning for this trip to the Netherlands, and I found out that you can purchase lounge access at the airport. I knew about this, but I'd never done it. So I looked into it, and it is so affordable. So I used it as a story to sell 2 spots in my Facebook ads program. I told the story of going to the Netherlands to surprise my Oma for her 85th birthday, and for me traveling alone with my 2 children, and that lounge access would help me so much. And I know it seems all about me, but what I also told my subscribers is that I thought of a win-win for them. You see, I wanted lounge access and calculated exactly how much I needed for it, but to help them out, my audience, my subscribers, I gave them 34% off my course. And I only made 2 spots available because that's all I needed to buy lounge access for myself and my daughter. So I used the story to make some sales. And I kept it very limited because I know that 34% is a really large discount. But it was a win-win for my students, people that had been waiting to purchase my program, and this is what they needed. And I needed lounge access. So I used the story to change and to turn it into sales. So it's things that you can do too. I've done it before, whether it's going for a walk and coming up with something, or eavesdropping on people on the train. I've done that too. You have a story to tell, and you can use it in your email marketing. Like, if you have nothing to talk about the weather. Everyone talks about the weather. No, honestly, you have a story to tell. Use it to turn your subscribers into customers. Number 3, segment your audience. Pretty much all of the email marketing software that I'm familiar with has the option to segment your audience. And what that means is that you can group your audience into segments or parts based on their interest. And why it's useful is because you can then send specific emails to each of these segments with messages that most likely will resonate with them more. For example, if you have an online course and you're trying to sell more spots, there's really no point in sending it to those who have already purchased the course. So you can exclude your current students or clients from certain emails. Another way to segment is by interest. For example, I offer 2 Facebook advertising courses. One is for e-commerce and one is for course creators and service providers. And those 2 audiences are very different. So I have 2 different segments for them inside my email marketing software. So I'm not cross-promoting things. When I'm sending sales emails, I make sure that I send them to the right segment so that I'm not confusing or boring people with emails they are not likely to be interested in. So segmentation can get as complex as you want, but I would start by grouping your audience by interest or by action. For example, the interest could be for a certain product or service, and the action could be whether they are a current client or student. So being able to tailor the message you send to the right audience will really help you with better open rates, better conversions. It's just a better experience for your subscribers. So that is the next tip. Number 4, email regularly. Yes, my next tip is to email regularly. All of the entrepreneurs that I follow who have gone on to build a business from 0 to multiple 6 or 7 figures have one thing in common. They regularly email their list, like consistently, without fail. Most of them send weekly emails at a minimum, but some even more than weekly. And it's important to regularly email your subscribers and to send them more than just sales emails. And that's why storytelling is so powerful. People connect with it, and connection builds trust. And to be able to sell, you need to build trust. So it's just the perfect setting. So set yourself a schedule and email your list regularly. If once a week feels too much, then start with every 2 weeks. Personally, I think anything less than every 2 weeks isn't enough because people may forget that they subscribe to your list and you're not really using it to your advantage and taking the opportunity to build a strong relationship with them. So in this way, I think more is better rather than, less is more, but no, more is more, I think. Obviously, you can overdo it too, but try weekly or if that's too much, every 2 weeks. So create a schedule for the next 90 days with content or topics that you will use to email your list every week or every 2 weeks. And you'll see that once you start, you'll keep going. And number 5, actually sell. My last tip for you is to actually sell. I know, sounds simple, right? I generally find that most business owners fall into one of 2 camps. They either only email their list with sales emails and they don't use storytelling or nurture emails, or they only email their list with stories and don't ever sell because they feel awkward about it. If you're in that camp, that you feel awkward about selling and you just, constantly just giving value, telling stories, then you need to listen. You need to actually let your subscribers know that you have something that they can buy. Weave it into the story or even use it as a PS at the bottom of every email, but you do need to let people know that you offer paid services or products. You can't expect them to know if you don't tell them. And you need to be the one to tell them. So while I'm not an advocate of just sales emails, don't email your list every week saying, buy this, buy this, buy this, buy this, and not offer any value because no one likes that. Or radio silence and, every 3 months you're like, hey, I have a sale on. And that's the only thing you do. No, make it regular. You need to be building relationships, building connections. You do need to offer value. Make people see that you have the solution or you are the solution to their problems or their challenges or their dreams. Okay, so to recap, my 5 tips for email marketing that sells. 1, be personable. 2, tell stories. 3, segment your audiences. 4, email regularly. And number 5, actually sell. Tell them you have something that they can buy and pay you for. So your task for this week is to audit your email marketing and see which one of these steps you are not taking right now. Then make an action plan to address each of these steps, each of these parts, and start emailing your list. Email continuously outperforms any other marketing platform. So it's really where your focus should be to build a sustainable business. Cool. Well, that's it. If you have any questions, requests, or you want to chat, please DM me on Instagram. I love getting your messages. That is it for this week. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of the New School of Marketing podcast. I hope it was helpful and I can't wait to share more marketing tips with you next week. If you are ready to take your business to the next level with Facebook and Instagram advertising, make sure you visit newschoolofmarketing.com to download practical free resources, plus subscribe to the podcast and never miss an episode. I can't wait to go on this journey with you. Until next time, take care and market your business every day.